the delegate count, Jesse's two candidacies ultimately came up short. But he paved the road for so many others to follow. Doug Wilder became the first elected black governor. Carol Moseley Braun went to the U.S. Senate. Because of Jesse, the Democratic Party changed its rules, ending the winner-take-all distribution of delegates during presidential primaries, which meant underdogs and outsiders like Bill Clinton or Bernie Sanders could stay competitive and build momentum instead of getting knocked out early. And it was because of that path that he had laid, because of his courage, his audacity, that 2 decades later, a young black senator from Chicago's South Side would even be taken seriously as a candidate for the presidential nomination. I still credit that first run of Jesse's and Harold Washington's campaign for drawing me to Chicago.
When I die, tell them the truth. We were discussing the fallout from his conversation regarding his growing up in Greenville, South Carolina. A reporter published a reference made about the Jews in New York without asking Reverend Jackson what he was referring to. It led to a number of Jewish leaders calling Reverend Jackson an anti-Semite. I know Jesse Jackson and have traveled the world with him since 1967. There's not an anti-Semitic bone in his body, nor in his mind, nor in his heart. When 3 Israeli soldiers, Goldwasser, Negev, and Shalit, were captives, their families thought they were dead. Reverend Jackson met with Hezbollah, and he got from them that they were alive and well. We met with the families in Tel Aviv and told them the news that they were alive and well. And they hugged, and they kissed, and they cried Reverend Jackson so they couldn't stop. That's not an anti-Semite. So Reverend Jackson could reach out to Gorbachev, gaining the release of numbers of Russian refugees to come to America. There's not an anti-Semitic bone in this man's body. I want to tell you a story he told which influenced my whole career and my life. He told me the story of Muhammad Ali, who was in a non-title fight and knocked down bloody in the 8th round. His corner told him not to come out, but Muhammad Ali got up, wiped the blood, came out and knocked out his opponent. Afterwards, Muhammad Ali was asked, "Mr. Ali, you were told not to go out. How come?" He said, "The ground is no place for a champion. We are all champions. There's no ground for any one of us." And now when Reverend Jesse Jackson enters into the pearly gates, above all, God will welcome him with this greeting. "Oh my God, you're Jesse Jackson. You are somebody. You are somebody. Come work with me. Come work with me. I need you. The world needs you to keep hope alive. Keep hope alive." God bless you, Jesse Jackson, and your beautiful family.
Reverend will be remembered certainly as an incredible oratory champion, but to the people in Chicago, we knew him as a brilliant strategist, a master negotiator, an organizing savant. His instincts, see, he didn't shy away from the painful realities of racism and hatred, but he had a God-given ability to bring people in, to encourage them in, and to enlist them into the fight of our collective liberation. It was his instincts that understood that labor and faith were one and the same, as Dr. King prophesied. It was his instincts to stand up against school closures and the shuttering of mental health clinics. It was his instincts that led protests down Michigan Avenue when a boy's life was taken by a police officer and then government decided to cover it up. It was his instincts. It was his instincts to run in 84 and 88, but not in 92, to make way for somebody in the deep South and a brother on the South Side to become president of these United States. It was his instincts. See, I had the privilege to accompany Reverend Selma one year, and while we were there, he recounted the days and weeks that were spent organizing to get folks to walk with them across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And he said, now that history has proven us to be right, he said that everybody and their mama was on that bridge. But he knew the struggle from going town to town, and he was calling people out of isolation and into community, understanding that the bridge is a symbol that burdens all of us. It's what connected us. It's what was waiting for us on the other side. He had a feel. His instincts understood that that bridge was a representation of the cross. See, it was the Bull Connors of the world and state-sanctioned violence that they unleashed on our people. It was a cross brought to bear by the most egregious alignment that can materialize in a fight against inequality. Reverend Jackson's instincts understood the words of James Baldwin, who said that ignorance and power allied is the most ferocious enemy of justice.
Now, to the world, Jesse Jackson was an ambassador of hope for the oppressed, who met with kings and queens and presidents and dictators and clergy of all the great religions. But here in Chicago, he was our neighbor. He was our friend. We were so proud. We are so proud. Here, his message of hope was one he offered in a friendly smile to the child playing in front of their home, or the tap on the shoulder for the young man looking for just a little bit of encouragement. He taught us to expand our ambitions and dare to imagine a better world, and to be kind and decent to one another. He brought enormous pride to the people of this city and this state. And on a more personal note, it has been an honor that my relatively short time in public office overlapped with Reverend Jackson's long tenure. And let me assure all of those who are here today that even as his body started to fail him, the Reverend's mind remained sharp. He never failed to pull me aside at an event to ask about something in the news or offer a word of advice or encouragement. He was politically connected. He knew. He shared an affliction common to all those in this room. He loved the political game all the way to the end. And while we know that we shared him with the whole world, Reverend Jackson belonged to Chicago. And Chicago belonged to him.